look at that. Wonderful.
This is this is similar to John Lennon and Yoko Ono, except they didn't have clothes on. But we're not going to go there. It's a bit chilly.
I was just going to say, that's exactly what it reminds me of. So let's get things in perspective right out of the gate here. One of you is an Aussie bluesman. The other one is an Irish folk songstress. I think we'll be able to figure out which is which. And you're also a married couple.
We are.
Is there a showbiz story on how you guys met or courted one another? Who did the courting, actually?
She saw me and just had to have me, mate. So no more.
See where my finger's pointing? That was who did the courting. No, he asked me. We were both at a festival with our bands in County Mayo, and he asked. He was a bit of a jivester on the dance floor, and came up and got me on the dance floor. Basically, pushed me onto the dance floor, and asked me afterwards, did I like dancing?
Oh.
And your breath, desperate. And so anyway, and then he spun me around and seriously, I had concussion, knocked me out on a marble pillar in the back of the head, and then proceeded to give me a fireman's lift, and I woke up on his shoulders.
Oh my goodness.
So I guess like he swept me off my feet, I guess, but yeah, the rest is history.
Quite literally.
Yeah.
So you guys have been collaborating for quite some time. I was doing a little bit of previewing ahead of time. Your sound, I'm going to go all the way back to Play Me Something, which is, I think, 2012. Wiley's Ways. I'm getting off track myself here. I can't read my own writing. But, there's a song like Power that almost sounds like gospel. Then you get some Celtic on Sign, up-tempo blues on Red Rattler. And one of them almost sounds a little bit like borderline singer-songwriter pop on Play Me Something New. Nothing is off the table when you guys write your songs?
We've been together 5 years, and when you get two front people, I guess in our circumstances, it took a while to find ourselves. So that CD's, I quite like it. It's all in the same vein of that rootsy old-timey sort of music. But yeah, so it sort of was bouncing around a bit more than where we are now.
Yeah, I'll talk about the latest album in a second. Do you guys find that you're influenced by a broader world of music, each of you, or one from Australia, one from Ireland?
It's kind of yeah. There are elements of like definitely Fitzy has been influenced for many years from the really really old pre-war blues. And there's a very strong thread of that through his music, and then with mine, I came from
soft pop.
Did not from mine. I came from the soul and Motown background. I was very into that for like up to about 15 years, and so collaborating those two together. Musically, yeah, it did take a while, but there is the influences of that still in our music. But I hopefully that bringing us being together now is collaborating its own sound that is us. Hopefully that is coming across.
Well, even with all the diverse sounds on that particular album, there's still that strong thread of folk and blues for sure. But it's interesting to see the influences that kind of creep in through some of the different songs there.
Yeah, you can hear the on the Play Me Something New is a songwriter's song. It is. That's one that Fitzy actually wrote about his ex. It's As
I haven't written one about her yet.
I have.
No, excellent.
No, there's no X ones, but there's one. Actually, you wrote one on the Beauty and the Beast album. That was the first album, and it's called Watch and CR, and that was the story of how we met.
Ah.
Yeah.
So a little bit of that dance hall stuff there.
Yeah.
That was a phone call song, that one.
Yeah, he sang that to me down the phone.
Oh, for Pete's sake!
Aye, and then
had to get her over here.
He was pulling out all the stops.
Oh my gosh! Well, I don't know how eclectic a description I can find online for your music, and there's all sorts of amazing write-ups. When you're recording, it sure seems like listening to your stuff, it's all or nothing when you're in the recording studio. And based on a little line I read, a record 18 straight appearances at Byron's East Coast Blues and Roots Festival, a record that's not likely to ever be broken. I guess all or nothing kind of translates to your live shows as well?
We try to emulate, Well, we don't emulate, we just do what we do, and
yeah.
It's working for us.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Oh, no, based on what I've catching, you guys are in high demand, and that's one of the things I was going to say, that you're in so much demand as a touring act. I know you're up on 3 different continents, I believe, all over the place, just getting ready to start hitting the road. What is it about your music that connects with your listeners, that gets them so anxious to come out and see you guys live?
Oh, it's definitely Cara behind the drum kit.
It's not. It's not. No, it's the domestics we have on stage. It's definitely got to be the domestics, the live domestics. I think that's a whole different genre of music, but no, I don't know. I mean, I guess the beauty of music is if it comes from a true place, and you can relate to it yourself. If something hits you and makes you feel something, then
You've hit me about 8 times this morning. I can feel it.
I'll hit you again. Don't stop. Did you feel that one?
Yes, big.
Did you feel that there, Dan?
I feel, and you know what? This is a whole other domestic situation.
Want sympathy?
It's funny. One of the things you get to one step ahead of me there, that you had mentioned something. Oh, my notes. Did I forget to add it in here? Oh boy. Basically, Do Tell. Do Tell is your newest CD, released in May of 2014. And there's nothing in there. Like, sometimes you find these songs that are kind of autobiographical. I guess that was back a couple of albums ago, or have some sort of a theme. But these things all seem to be stuff that people are able to relate to in the lyrics and the stories you're telling.
Very simple.
Yep.
Simple songs written by simple people.
And they relate.
Well, you don't. I know. Well, it's funny actually when you say "Do Tell," because last night we did the title track of the album at the Port Fairy Folk Festival, and we're lucky to have Fitzy's and myself's dear friend Jeff Lang, who engineered and produced the album.
Right.
He was in the audience,
oh.
And he ended up getting up on stage and playing on the Do Tell, which is actually about a fridge. Believe it or not, I'm still dumbfounded. I thought when Fitzy started writing, Do Tell, I actually thought it was about a woman, in the way he was describing her and all, and hot and cold, and but maybe when she ran on gas and electricity, I should have realised. But I think that's only one of the songs that is quite of an abstract kind of emotional song about a fridge. Don't think it's ever been done before, but you do worry a bit. But most of the songs, as you say, they are about experiences that you would have in life, or emotional situations that come about, and hopefully they've been expressed, people get the message.
You guys have some amazing, beautiful instruments on some of the pictures in your website and your press kit. Is there any special story? A lot of people that I'm sure are fans are also musicians. Do you have any particular guitar or instrument that has a backstory to it?
Well, I found my electric guitar is just an old 60s Tiesco, and I found that on a job site so I'm a tile of a trade, and that was about 7 years ago. And I don't play solid body electrics, and that's what this is. And it was on a job site in the corner of this guy's room, and I was doing the renovation on his house. And over the 2 weeks I was there, I weaned it out of him and bought it off him and fixed it up. And yeah, it's become a big part of my sound. And that's like I said, I didn't play solid body guitars before that, so it's been a big transition for that one. And I've got a brass body resonator copy, which I got made in Australia in the mid-90s. And it's got a few dings and stories on it, which I'll show and tell them if you want when I'm over there.
Yeah. And that's made by Beaton.
Yeah,
Beaton Guitars.
Greg Beaton.
Wow. Yeah. And it's a beautiful place, actually, where he builds his guitars. He's got a workshop out in the woods. And it literally is, going to the woodcutter's house and watching him at work in his domain is quite something else.
But my main instrument's it's a Cara, and I play it quite a bit. Yeah.
What's it sound like? So I heard it's very dulcet tones.
Yeah. Very dulcet.
I was just going to explain. But I have an old bog oak fife that I have, and that's actually from just recently. I got in contact with a guy that makes them. He's called Angus Fife.
Oh my gosh!
Is that his real name?
Yeah, he's called Angus
Fife.
No, it's Angus Fifes.
Oh,
sorry. And he pulled this bog oak up from the bog of Donaghadee, where I used to live. Funny enough, so it's a bit of a story from back home. When I was like a wee nipper, I lived out in Donaghadee on the coast, and he's made it from this one last piece of wood from that bog that he had. So, and he's posted it back over to Australia. So that's a really kind of interesting concept, and it's a bit of a bugger to play though, but it sounds beautiful when it sings. Oh, it sings.
Oh my gosh! Oh, I'll tell you a good one. Cara's we're bringing over the kick drum. It's a 1940s Australian-made kick drum, and I was doing a gig many years ago at a place called Bucker up at Bundaberg, and up there then they didn't pay me, so I threw the drum in the car and took it.
Yeah.
And I didn't even play drums or care for it. It was just there, and at the last minute I threw it in and had it for years. And then I met Cara, and she's obviously on the drums, and we pulled it out, and now it's a big part of our sound too. So there's another little story.
Wow. Yeah, we're bringing it over.
It's worth a lot more than that one gig I did too.
Yeah.
I think the last thing I have to try and find out is that with a last name like Fitz, was that a parental gag to name you Hat?
Yeah, well, my last name's Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
And my old man thought it was funny because my first name's Hat, middle name's Rick, last name's Fitzpatrick, so it's Hattrick Fitzpatrick. And as you can imagine what it's like over here, living with a name like that going through school. There's your hat, cap fits and all the rest of it, and sock fits. And yeah, so I called my first son Hattrick Fitzpatrick II. Let him go for all that too.
So he's, Hattrick Fitzpatrick Jr.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Well, your world tour is going to be coming through Alberta, coming up next Friday. Hat Fitz Cara will be appearing at the Calgary Folk Club Friday, March 13th, along with the award-winning Calgary bluesman Tim Williams. So if you're a blues fan, this is the night to come out. Thanks so much for getting up and agreeing to this, and I hope the audio or the video works. This will be just great.
Thanks for having us, Dan. Dan St.Yves.
Yep, it's wonderful.
Lovely. It's been a pleasure talking to you as well.
Thanks so much. Try and get a bit more napping in.
Well, we're up now. That's it.
Yeah, you wrecked that.
My apologies. I'll make up when you guys are out here.
Thanks.
Cool. Come and say hello.
I shall. See ya.
Right, mate.
Bye.